What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. And more importantly, welcome back to your NBA Weekly Update, the series where I tell you about everything that happened in the NBA this last week. We don't all have all the time in the world to watch all the basketball that we want. I know I don't even, because I gotta watch college basketball as well as NBA basketball, and it's a whole jumbled mess. But anyway, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment on my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. All right. Let's get into it. And that brings us back here to the weekly update or weekly, I don't know, tracker. I never have names for these things. I just build them and then they're here. I love my spreadsheets and it's cool. I've been seeing a lot of people in the comments being like, hey, I'm just like a spreadsheet nerd too. Like, can you shoot me this spreadsheet? You guys ever want access to it, you guys know what to do. Just like message me in the comments or something like that, and I'll shoot you over to our Discord and all that jazz, yada, yada, yada. But last week in the NBA, exciting things, right? A little review as to what we've got here. All the stats that you see up here are from this last week in the NBA, right? This box right here lets us look at players' year stats, as you can see right here. So if we wanted to take a look at, I don't know, let's say Jalen Brunson here. Jalen Brunson, this is his stats for the year. Does Jalen Brunson appear on this list at all? No, he doesn't, so let's use somebody that does. So we'll go Devin Booker here, and we'll put Devin Booker here. We can compare his last week to his overall year stats, which Devin Booker is up right now. 33 points in this last week compared to 26 on the season. Which it's been one extra game, just to let you guys know. Or wait, no, it's been 3 extra games. Okay, that's a good thing to note, actually. But assists are up, rebounds are up, all that jazz, right? So those are kind of the things that we're looking at. But I want to take some time to highlight a couple players from this last week, and then we'll kind of go into talking about some news, because we have a lot of news to cover from this last week. First player I want to continue to talk about is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has been on another tear. Like, we saw him play in 3 games this last week where he got about 30 points per game. We can take a look at his season stats over here as well. I mean, 31, almost 32 points per game, 12 rebounds on the season. It's crazy, right? I mean, we can take a look at his field goal percentage and everything is high. The 3-point shot is falling a little bit, but JJ Redick said he was really going to unlock Anthony Davis. We're still seeing that out of Anthony Davis, which is awesome. We're seeing him get some better shot looks and everything. The Lakers system is looking pretty solid overall. I mean, we can talk about the wins and losses and stuff, which are starting to waver a little bit from like the first week, right? But I mean, this team does have its limitations in terms of like overall talent. I don't think it's a bad team whatsoever, but the West is also really, really good. So they're playing really, really good teams all the time. But nonetheless, I feel like it's worth stressing how good Anthony Davis has been. The next player I do want to bring up is RJ Barrett, who's now back. He didn't start at the beginning of the year. He was injured, but RJ Barrett getting you almost 30 points per game, and we're seeing 46% from 3 in this last week, almost 50% from the field, which is more than fine. Can't complain about that. He does have a -1 plus-minus ratio, but the Raptors are pretty bad. They're fighting in a lot of games right now, but they're playing second-round picks from this last year, which is just, it's unfortunate to say the least, but we're seeing RJ Barrett get a lot of good things going. I mean, 7 assists per game, almost 6 rebounds. Like, yeah, Scotty Barnes has been out and stuff too, but it's cool to see RJ Barrett kind of become a more like full-on player. Since he got traded to the Raptors last season, we've seen him take on a more complete role in his game. We've seen him start to hit from outside a little bit more, which was always a big thing for him, but nonetheless, I'm happy to see RJ Barrett playing well. He's always been super talented. I love the mentality that he has with getting to the rack and everything, but really good week in 4 games here, man. Almost 30 points a game. You can't complain about that at all. And I'm going to highlight LaMelo Ball again really quick as well. Just, again, continues to dominate. Their team isn't necessarily all that great right now, but he's playing really, really well. The last guy that I actually really want to highlight this week is Karl Anthony Towns, who in this last week in 3 games averaged 26 points a game, 4 assists, and 11 rebounds. Big Cat's been a big reason for them winning games. I mean, look at this, plus 14 right now on your plus minus. Cat's been phenomenal for them. 57% from the field, 62% from 3 in his last 3 games. That's nuts, right? That's absolutely nuts. It's been really awesome to see Cat. We can take a look at his stats for the entire season too. I mean, 22 points per game, still 11 rebounds, right? We're still seeing the insane field goal percentages of a +8 as well. It's awesome, right? We're 2 weeks into the season, but Cat has been working with them. The spacing that he's been able to bring has been really, really good for them, and they're finding ways to put him in good spots, which is interesting, right? Like, why didn't this work with Tom Thibodeau before, right? Maybe you can say there's just a more competent group of players around him. He's matured a little bit more since then, but nonetheless, I think it's really interesting, and I think it's cool to see Big Cat playing so well. We can take a look around the association then as well. Like we're seeing John Morant have some really high assist numbers. Same with Trae Young, James Harden and Jokic as always. Scottie Barnes obviously got hurt, so we're not seeing him as much there. Sabonis and Jakob Poeltl each getting you almost 14 or above 14 rebounds per game, which is awesome. Steals, Scottie Barnes before a little bit of an injury. Victor Wembanyama, not going to be surprised if he's just always in that category. Alex Sarr had a good end of the week, which is awesome. Nick Richards is a guy I'd actually like to highlight really quick, just because I want to be able to highlight him whenever I can. One of very few players that's averaging double-digit points and rebounds right now. There were times during the off-season where I'd be like, "Hey, y'all, Nick Richards can be a starting point guard starting center in the NBA." Like, I promise y'all, and y'all were like, "No, Nick Richards is bad. What a bad take. You guys are dumb." If that was one of you, you guys are dumb. I'm sorry. I'm just here to tell you, you guys are dumb. Yeah, the plus-minus isn't good. The team isn't very good, right? Just is what it is. It's not a very good basketball team, but 11 points per game, 10 rebounds right now, and we're seeing the 2.5 blocks. It's pretty awesome. The field goal percentage is always going to be a little skewed. Maybe I should put a filter on that or something like that. Same with the 3-point percentage, because like how many threes and stuff did Tristan da Silva actually get up? He played in 2 games. This is his overall stats for the season, so don't even worry about it. But nonetheless, those are some of the things that we're seeing just in terms of like raw stats at this point in the week. So let's move on to the news. First thing we want to touch on is the Dwayne Wade statue, which we're gonna take a look at right here. So for those of you that don't know, the Miami Heat erected this beautiful, beautiful thing outside of the Heat's arena, and yeah, no, they need to take this down immediately. It's horrendous. Why are statues like so hard to make now? We've seen a couple of them just not be very good, or they're incorrect about things. It's so interesting to me that like I've seen a ton of people be like, the Greeks were so good at it, why aren't they as good at it now? And well, the answer to that is there's just not as many people that are practicing this type of thing. That's why like certain architecture is different now. That's why you don't see many people practicing certain types of crafts nowadays, and one of them just is sculpting, right? So unfortunately, this was the best they could do. You would think that at some point there'd be someone kind of managing the project to be like, hey, let's take a look and see how this is turning out, and they'd see this and go, oh no, that won't do. Oh no, that won't do. We cannot show that. It's really bad. They need to just like take the head off and do something else. I don't even know if that's possible. The rest of it like looks fine. It's just the face. The face looks so strange, but anyway, that's what's going on with Dwayne Wade. The next thing I want to talk about is Joel Embiid and his towel tech. So basically, I don't even know if I can find it. I'll try to find it here just on Google quickly. All right, y'all, so watch this right here. Joel Embiid, you're going to see him waving his towel like, hey, yeah, we got him, right? Him waving his towel right there was considered a distraction, and they gave him a tech. I found that kind of interesting, and this isn't the last time we're going to talk about Joel Embiid in this week's session of the news, just an FYI. And to remind you, Joel Embiid has not actually stepped on the basketball court yet this week, but he's been saying all those things about like, yeah, I'm not going to play double headers. The NBA started that investigation on him and everything, and so this feels kind of like the NBA being like, Joel, stay in line a little bit, because I've seen dudes do crazier shit on the sidelines, and they got him for that, so I don't know, just seems a little weird to me. Seems a little weird. Paulo Banchero scored 50 points in a game this last week. I mean, we see Paulo here at the top of the points per game leader from this last week. He played in 2 games, averaged 40, right? One of the games he scored 50. That's what we're here to talk about. But unfortunately, during that second game, dude got injured. And it looks like he's going to be sidelined for a good amount of the time, and it's too bad. Like, Banchero was having a really good start to the season at 29 points a game, almost 6 assists, almost 9 rebounds. Like, the 3-point percentage still wasn't great. It wasn't like horrible either. Field goal percentage was overall pretty solid. It's just, man, like the Magic can't really afford to lose him, and that's pretty unfortunate. So it sucks to see one of the first like real like 50-point game, like shocker, like, ooh, Banchero's taking a big leap, and now he's injured, man. You hate to see it. And then, let's talk about the Taylor Hendricks injury. So I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty surprised to see that Taylor Hendricks was starting this season. Taylor Hendricks had a rough start to his rookie year, right? Like, he couldn't even really get on the into the rotation after being a pretty high draft pick. Ends up coming back, like, and playing a bit with the team at the end of last season. He had some pretty good moments. He had some not as great moments still, but I was surprised to see him starting. I was like, okay, what are we gonna see out of Taylor Hendricks this year? And I mean, just looking at the numbers, I'm still a little bit confused as to what we were seeing out of him. I didn't see it. 4 points a game, 5 rebounds. It's like, okay, the field goal percentage wasn't very good. Plus minus, like, the Jazz are really, really bad, so like I'm not even concerned about that. But 3 games he played in, he didn't look very competent out there, but the injury, man, he suffered like a complete like leg fracture, whatever. It's one of those where you saw the leg snap. Sorry for those of you that are like eating breakfast or something right now. It's just kind of dangling there, and I was like, oh my god, I hate that. And like seriously, like I hate to see that, especially for a young dude that's probably working his ass off to make the team, get on the court, all those things. You hope he was probably working out all summer, getting better, and it's just you hate to see it, you really do. But unfortunately, these gruesome injuries happen sometimes, and look, the Jazz aren't very good anyway, and so you were gonna think that he's gonna have a lot of opportunity to get on the court, try and get better, and it's unfortunate, man, and we wish him a very, very speedy recovery. If we can talk about some better news, let's talk about, I don't even need to go to an article for this one, let's just talk about Jay Huff here. And for those of you that don't know, Jay Huff plays for the Memphis Grizzlies, and I don't even have a picture for him. Oh, would you look at that, some more movie magic. I just get on and record these things, man. I promise y'all I do. But Jay Huff is probably a name you were not that familiar with. He's been really dominant in the G League in like recent times, and he was able to get a full-time contract from the Grizzlies. The actual deal and everything, it's like a 4-year, kind of smaller contract. I'm sure there's like some opt-outs and things like that, but Jay Huff's been a really nice player for this team so far. 11 points per game on the season. Not too many rebounds, but he steps out and he hits the 3-point shot. He's athletic. He runs the floor. I'm not surprised he made an NBA roster. We kind of talked about him during the summer league, and we're like, yeah, this guy needs to be on like a full NBA roster. And the Grizzlies and the Pelicans, they've been competing with who can be the most injured already again this season. I don't know what's going on in the training facilities of these two teams, but Jay Huff's been on the court, man. And dare I say, I'd rather have him on the court compared to like a Zach Edey right now. No offense to Zach Edey. No offense. He's been putting up some double-doubles and stuff and not fouling out, and that's solid. He also doesn't play that many minutes, but Jay Huff, man, he's been good for this team. He's been good for this team, so I'm glad to see him get this contract. It's awesome. All right, let's talk about a Luka logo shot. And why talk about it when I can just show y'all? Let's see it. Let's see it. Luka, this was a crazy game, right? Dallas is up by a couple. There's only a couple minutes left. These two teams are battling again, just like the conference finals. They're going. Luka's got nowhere to go. Step back from the logo. Oh! Yeah, talk that shit. I do that shit. I do that shit. Oh my god, I love it. I love the energy, man. I love it. Dude's just a killer. Dude is a killer. Hey, step back. Ooh, why'd he like flick it like that? Bottoms, nothing but net. He is phenomenal. Oh yeah, let's see this flashback of them switching Rudy Gobert onto this nonsense, and all of us were so pissed at home just watching it. But hey, cross, step back. Where you going? Give me those. Money. Talk your shit again then, Luka. Talk your shit again. Oh, I gotta see it one more time. Nikhil, where you going? Where you going? Come here. Step back. Bottoms. Luka, man, you're too much for me, man. Luka's so tough. Luka is so tough. Let me take these headphones off. Moving on to the next one. The Warriors benched Jonathan Kaminga. This is kind of an interesting one, right? I can't say I'm exactly surprised by this. Let's pull up Jonathan Kaminga over here. So Jonathan Kaminga on the year, 13 points per game, almost 4 rebounds, about assist and a half a game, getting a steal. That's awesome. Field goal percentage is not good. He is a +6 for them on the season. The Warriors surprisingly aren't bad. I don't understand why they haven't started Buddy Hield. I'm gonna pull up Buddy Hield's numbers just for a second so you can see him. 22 points per game, 51 from the field, 51 from 3, +7 for them. But Jonathan Kaminga is someone that I talked about a bit this offseason. I caught a little bit of flack from Warriors fans just because I was like, I'd personally move him if I were you guys. I think his value's high enough right now, and I don't think he's going as high as you guys think he is. That's just my perception of him. I don't necessarily see him learning the game like that. I do think he's got some talent to him. I don't think it's like something all that spectacular necessarily, but look, the Warriors clearly aren't developing him. We've talked about the Warriors and the fact that, look, no young players have found a way to really succeed with this group of coaches and stuff, and that's unfortunate, right? But I don't see him getting to the point where it's worth keeping him around, and I kind of wish they would have thought about moving him this offseason. I feel like that was the solution. You keep Clay somehow, you go get a star by trading Kaminga and Moody and those guys who really aren't helping you a ton right now. We can go over to Moses Moody, and I mean, 10 points a game, that's awesome. Field goal percentage is good. He's playing good defense, but wouldn't you have rather had like a star, like small forward, like in Paul George or something like that? Because I bet you they would have liked to have had Kaminga at the very least or something like that. I don't know. I feel like something like that would have been better, but they've benched him now, and he has had some good outings since then. I mean, he's not appearing on this list at all for top players of the week, but I mean, he's had some games where he's putting up over 20, and that's awesome. But I mean, they also don't have Steph Curry right now. Somebody's got to shoot the basketball, right? So I don't know. It's kind of unfortunate to me. It's kind of unfortunate to me. I don't know. I just don't like it. I feel like they should move on from him for his own good and for their own good. I just don't think it makes much sense. I'm going to talk about it really quick. Bronny scored his first points. It was cool. He hit a little step back on somebody and hit a jumper. It was his first points. It's cool, right? Let's just leave it at that. It's cool. Let's talk about the Ja Morant floor lob. Take a look at this play right here. Ja Morant goes, gets the shot block, gets on the floor. Love the hustle, right? Everybody getting on the floor. We're here. Where are we going to go? We got LaRavia that's going to seal off Andre Jackson Jr. here, who should be playing more minutes. Doc Rivers. We'll talk about y'all in a second. But Santi is going up. He's had a great season. Hey! And remind you where he was. Ja Morant is on the ground here. Throws the alley-oop from the ground. That's nuts. That's so awesome. Ja Morant is something else, man. Dude's just special. He's just special. And obviously the Grizzlies injury problems early on and everything, but it's crazy. Next we're talking about Grant Williams now, somebody not quite as awesome. Just going and showing you guys Grant Williams, right, and what he's done so far this season. 3-point shots good, field goal percentage not so good. About 9 points a game, 4 rebounds. Let's just have a little bit of context when we're about to show you what we're going to show you. A little bit more context. Grant Williams been going back and forth with the Celtics players. Celtics players didn't always mess with Grant Williams, right? It's a whole thing. So Bridges misses the shot. Jason Tatum's going to bring the ball up the court, and Grant Williams decides just to straight up check the dude right here for no reason. Jason Tatum smartly just says, bro, I'm going to just take my free throws. I know that's going to be a flagrant. He's going to get kicked out of the game. Very, very smart. Great job, Jason Tatum. Good stuff by the Celtics players. You guys step up, protect your boy, right? For all you young kids out there, somebody does some shit like this to your teammate. I'm being so real with y'all right now. Somebody does something like that to your teammate. That's crazy. That is nuts by Grant Williams, right? You got to get up in his face. You got to. Somebody's got to be up on him, in his mouth. Just y'all at least got to step up, right? Jason Tatum, good for you. Walk away. You're the victim here. Everyone else, y'all got to step up, right? He gets tossed from the game, flagrant 2. Grant Williams, you're just such a bum sometimes, man. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but that's just such a lame move, right? Like, this is still a winnable basketball game at the end of the day. It's going to be hard, but, like, just, like, maintain your cool a little bit, dude, and, like, gonna hurt somebody doing some stuff like that. I don't know, man. It's some petty nonsense that I just don't necessarily care for. And if we want to talk about something that's going to get somebody potentially in more trouble, let's talk about the Joel Embiid shoving of a reporter, because this one is a little bit interesting. I'll pull it up here. Joel Embiid reporter. So last night, actually, Joel Embiid verbally confronts, then shoves a Philadelphia reporter the NBA is investigating. What happened here? Reminder, Joel Embiid has not played in any games this year. Some of the load management stuff, they say he's not in good enough shape yet. All the things that have been happening with Joel Embiid this year, right? Led to somebody, I don't exactly know who it is, and I don't think it's the columnist Marcus Hayes. Basically, Marcus wrote a column saying something like, hey, now, Joel Embiid's talking about, like, yeah, I got to get right. I got to do all of this. It's a whole thing, right? But if you want to actually be as good as you say you are, because Embiid says he wants to set, like, a good example for, like, his kid and everything, who he named after, like, his late brother and everything. He's like, you got to do better than what you're doing right now. And so the reporter brings up the fact that Joel Embiid lost his younger brother, which is really unfortunate. And we feel for Joel Embiid with that. And so the reporter brings that up and is like, yeah, you think you're going to honor him and everything doing shit like this? And it's like, whoa, man, it's kind of crazy. I just don't think that's something that needs to be brought up. And we actually talked about this in the Discord a bit yesterday. Just a reminder, go join the Discord. Links is always in the description. You can go join. But Joel Embiid sees that dude after the game. He's clearly pissed off about it and gives him a little shove. Apparently, we don't have any like video evidence or anything to show of it. But I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. Is that warranted? If you're asking my opinion, I'm personally of the belief, and I don't want to advocate for violence ever, but sometimes I think people need to be swung on. I just do. Like, I'm not saying you got to beat them to a pulp or something like that, but like, somebody says some stuff like that, I don't know. I think you deserve like an uppercut to the jaw or something like that. I think that's going to teach you a lesson, in all honesty, more than just being like, hey, don't do that shit anymore, right? So I don't know. I kind of think the dude had it coming. It's unfortunate that Embiid's got all this kind of off-court stuff going on because he won't be on the court and everything, and it's kind of unfortunate, but I'm going to be really curious to see what happens. I mean, we might have to wait even longer for Joel Embiid to come back because the NBA might just suspend him for that because I feel like they're gonna have to. Let's go watch Donovan Mitchell's game winner now. Let's see something a little happier. And then we've got two more kind of interesting stories, which I'm actually going to cover out of order because I think it's important. All right, y'all, fun highlight for you. We got 5 seconds left. Bucks up 1. Donovan Mitchell with the basketball. Let's see it. Gary Trent gets a poke. Give me these. Where we going? Pull up. Bottoms. Hey, Donovan Mitchell, man. The Cavs been rolling this year. Rolling. Absolutely love to see it. Let's see that shot one more time. Ball, bad pass to start. Got to do something against Gary. Where are we going? We're going this way. He gets the poke on him. Give me that basketball. Gonna get back to his spot. Bottom. Oh, man. And the Cavs would go on to win that basketball game. The Cavs have been looking great this year. If we can give a little bit of praise to Donovan Mitchell to start this year, let's take a look at those numbers. We got 24 points per game, 4 assists, 2 rebounds to go along with him playing with Darius Garland, who's also been having a nice year, 18 points, right? We're seeing that. Jared Allen's played really, really well. This is going to lead into something for us, I promise. 15 points, 11 rebounds. E-Mobe's been playing really good. 17, 18 points per game, almost 9 rebounds, shooting great all around. Cavs are awesome, right? Cavs are awesome. Let's talk about the last story now. Vince Carter got his jersey retired by the Toronto Raptors. No surprise there. Dude was a legend there. We give a clap out to Vince, right? No more people wearing the number 15 in Toronto anymore. That's awesome. But a little side story that came from this. So Drake, who, you know, he's been in the news for his own things this year, right? I don't know how many of y'all watched the whole the whole beef, right? The whole beef that happened this summer. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go look on the internet more. That's the best I can describe it as. But Drake was there, obviously big Toronto Raptors fan. He was talking about the jersey retirement and everything, and he was like, man, if they ever hang DeMar DeRozan's jersey from up there, I'll go tear it down myself, which, not gonna lie, kind of an L take in my opinion on Drake here. Look, not the biggest fan of Drake as of late, since the whole battle that was had this summer. I haven't been able to listen to his music. I'm being so real with y'all. I'm like, doesn't hit the same anymore. It just doesn't hit the same. But obviously DeMar DeRozan was in Kendrick's music video and everything for Not Like Us, which was kind of a shot at Drake, right? Because that was one of his boys or whatever. And DeMar is obviously a bigger fan of Kendrick, and so he's being a little petty. Look, DeMar got traded from Toronto. He never left, right? DeMar was one of the better players that Toronto's ever had. He was the culture a lot of times for a while, so it's just kind of like, come on, man. I don't know. It's just kind of a lame take, so I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about that at the end of the day. But if we can talk about DeMar just really quick, too, looking at his numbers, 25 points per game, 5 assists. Still not hitting crazy from 3, but he's been a real positive for Sacramento so far, so that's awesome. I'm going to give you guys a quick rookie report. Let's go through some of the top ones. You guys let me know if I should do... I'm thinking about making a page that just shows the rookies or something on here. I feel like that could be a good thing to look at. If we can look at Reese, hasn't been very good this year. Sorry to say, it hasn't looked great. Alex Sarr did just have a good game, so that's nice. He just had his first kind of real good game, which is cool, right? Reed Shepherd will go on to him, who was the 3rd overall pick. Not going great for Reed Shepherd right now either. He's not really getting on the court too much, and it's kind of what we all expected, right? I mean, we can take a look at Zach Edey quick. He's on the court, which is good. 9 points, almost 6 rebounds. Doesn't play a ton of minutes. He did hit a 3-pointer, which was exciting, right? We talked about that a little bit last week. But one of the rookies that I've enjoyed watching is Ryan Dunn. Almost 8 points a game, 2 rebounds, but the defense has been amazing, right? He's hitting his 3-point shot, which is not something we necessarily saw. He's been a real positive, as you can see here, for the Phoenix Suns. So that's awesome, right? But again, this rookie class, this is just a reminder to you guys. We were kind of trying to talk about it during the offseason. I think a lot of us get caught up in the fact that there's new people coming to the NBA and you watch some of their highlights. You need to take my word a little bit for things when I'm telling you guys about stuff. And it's like, these guys were not ready necessarily. They're not good enough to play right now. It's not a very good class, and that's okay. Like, they're going to get better. They will. It's just, I don't know. Some of us were thinking, like, oh, Reed Shepherd's going to start this season. Zach Edey's going to be awesome for this team and everything. And it's like, I'm trying to tell y'all no, like that's just a different level to things, right? And there's certain elements that you need to succeed in the NBA, and they're just not present yet. So it's unfortunate, but that's how it is. Let's go over to the NBA standings really quick. Let's take a look at the Eastern Conference. The Cavaliers are undefeated. That's why I was showing you guys their numbers and everything. They're one of the few undefeated teams. Are they the only? Nope, it's them and the Thunder. The Cavs are undefeated at this point of the season. Very, very awesome to see. It looks like they're starting to figure out some of those lineup questions that we had during the offseason. The Celtics remain really, really good. That's no surprise. The Knicks have been really good in large part to Karl Anthony Towns. Heat are playing pretty well. The Bulls, surprisingly, a 5 seed. Some of the reasons for that is Zach LaVine continues to be a really, really good basketball player. Almost 23 points per game, almost 6 rebounds, which is pretty impressive. He's shooting the shit out of the basketball on the season so far. Josh Giddey continues to be one of the more productive players in the NBA at 15 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Like, the three-point shot's falling right now. It's not in huge quantities, but Giddey's been a real positive player in the NBA so far this season. I know the plus-minus isn't that great. I mean, they got beaten it wasn't pretty in one of the games, and that's going to affect it slightly, right? But the Bulls have been a surprising team, to say the least. Kobe White's another guy we should probably give a little bit of credit to, as he continues to have really good scoring outputs. So shout out Kobe White for that one. The Magic, we're going to see where they go without Banchero. I think that's interesting. Not surprised to see the Nets this high, honestly, right now, because they have a lot of solid players, right? They've got a lot of solid players. I mean, we see Cam Thomas on the list even for this week, right? I mean, 27 points per game. He's going to continue to get his buckets. Where is he at for the season, out of curiosity? 28 points a game. So not surprised to see that. Like, Schroeder's a really good basketball player. Like, Schroeder's a starter in this league. Like, he just is. He's that good. Cam Johnson's a really good basketball player, right? Claxton was coming off the bench, which was interesting. But, like, he's a really good basketball player, right? They've got good players. They just don't necessarily have, like, studs, to say the least. The Wizards find themselves here, but, like, Pacers have been struggling, and I kind of want to put a bit of that on Tyrese Halliburton, because I've seen the conversation start to happen of, like, hey, how good really is Tyrese Halliburton? And I do think that there's a perspective to have with it, because, like, yeah, I think there's a lot of better point guards, and not a lot, but, like, there's better point guards in the NBA than Tyrese Halliburton. He's very, very good, but he has his flaws. Some of that is in his lack of aggressiveness. A Olympic player that's scoring 14 points a game ain't going to cut it. The shot isn't falling right now. He seems a little indecisive, so bit of a concern there that the Pacers can't quite get it going. The Bucks, though, and the Sixers. Obviously, the Sixers are missing a lot of guys. The Pistons continue to be bad because they're bad, and they just don't know how to manage a lineup. Just start the best players. Just start the best players. Like, play them more minutes. Please let Malik Beasley play. Please. But the Milwaukee Bucks have been a disaster to start this season. It is not, and I can't repeat enough, it is not the fault of Giannis Antetokounmpo here and Damian Lillard here. Those two are balling. I know Lillard had one game where he went like 1 for 12 or something like that, but those two have been balling this season. It's been awesome. They're starting to play better off each other. The rest of the team is looking rough right now. Pat Connaughton, like, isn't even playable right now. Gary Trent's having some rough times here and there. Brook Lopez is a little bit iffy right now. They obviously don't have Chris Middleton, and that's going to hurt a lot, but, like, they've got to figure some things out. This feels like a coaching issue, and so the question has to be asked, are the Bucks going to do something coaching-wise? Like, they're already paying for, like, 2 to 3 other guys that aren't coaching right now. There's no way they pay for 4 coaches at once, right? Because they fired other guys, and you have to finish paying out their money and everything. There's no way they fired Doc, right? There's no way. There's no way the organization can greenlight that. I can't imagine what they would do. And then who else are you going to get, right? That's the other question. If we go over to the West, you're just going to see better records. The Thunder dominating right now. The Suns are really, really good early, even though Bradley Beal hasn't been having, like, a great start to the year. Like, he's hitting his 3-point shot, and honestly, like, the stats don't look all that bad when you look at it like this. Maybe it's just the last, like, 2 games he hasn't looked all that great. So maybe that's just me and some skewed perspective. This is why you got to look at stats and stuff. But overall, Suns looking solid, right? The numbers say it themselves. When the big three are on the court together, good things happen. So we'll see if they can kind of maintain this and keep themselves up here. The Warriors, obviously surprising a lot of people. Lakers are still up here, which is awesome. Clippers, not surprised to see them at the bottom. The Nuggets have been struggling a little bit early, but I want to give a shout out to, because a lot of you guys might not know him, but Julian Strother, who I really, really like as a player for them. 8 points a game, shooting great from the field right now. Just been another scoring option for them. He had a 20-point game the other day, so want to give some credit to him. Pelicans are really banged up right now. Timberwolves are so hit and miss. It feels like all their games are really, really close. Dallas has been playing pretty well, so that's kind of our look at things, and the Jazz are bad. So are the Trailblazers. I'm sorry, both these teams are really, really really bad. So just is what it is. But yeah, that's kind of your weekly update. I know this video is kind of all over the place, but I'm trying to just throw a bunch at you guys. If you ever have ideas for other things you want me to cover in this series, please do let me know. Otherwise, I'll leave you guys to it, and we'll have some more videos that are pre-recorded for you guys to watch this week, and catch me back here on Monday again to talk about more NBA stuff. Thanks so much, y'all. We'll see you later. Bye.